You know, it seems odd that I have to make a video on something as simple as this, because you'd expect that people would know how to, well, not lie to themselves. I mean, it's a bit different when it's lying to other people and not being able to tell the truth to other people, but when it comes to yourself, you'd expect people to be truthful to themselves about who they are. But frankly, that's not the case, especially in Western society. Everyone's just trying to present a facade to make sure that everyone knows that they're this kind of person when in reality they're not. And it creates misconceptions about the type of people that actually exist around you. It makes you put other people on pedestals because you think there's some kind of god, but it's just not the case. You have to understand that most people aren't being true to themselves. And if you've clicked on this video and you're actually trying to watch this to understand how to be truthful to yourself, I genuinely applaud you, because a lot of people nowadays aren't truthful. Okay? Now you see, it's very well applied to when you have problems, when you have issues in your life, because what happens is that we usually lie to ourselves about those issues so that they can seem much more difficult than they actually are. We refuse to look at problems on a standard face-on level, which is why when someone else tells you a problem that they have, you're like, oh, I already know the solution to this. Is because you're able to look at it face-on. That person isn't able to look at it face on, which is why they can't understand the solution, right? We tend to choose the ominous explanation for our problems, so instead of the standard one, instead of the simple way to solve things. And I think there's a reason for this, and I think it's because we need to feel validated for our problems. So if we have an issue or some kind of impediment has arrived in our lives, we want to feel validated for feeling bad about that issue. So we choose the ominous explanation so that when we tell people that, oh, I have this problem, like, oh, poor me, they can validate our feelings for that problem and also be like, oh, that is really bad and you should feel like it's difficult, you should feel like that's really hard to do, and then you can feel, oh, I said it was hard, they said it was hard, I feel validated now. That's why we choose the ominous explanation, so that it seems more likely for the other person to give us sympathy. So what we humans tend to do is that we will sacrifice clarity for sympathy. We will let clarity fade away just so we can get validated for our problems, which is not how we should be doing things. We should be facing our problems head on and seeing them as they are, so that we can actually break them down into little pieces and solve them. So I think there's 3 ways I go about into genuinely how to solve my problems and to be truthful to myself. This is kind of a mixed video, but it's mostly on how to be truthful to yourself and how that can relate into solving your problems. 1, to be genuinely truthful to yourself, write it down. No one has to see it, okay? Don't worry, your mom's not going to come into your fucking cum-smelling room and open up your fucking journal, and she probably won't even be able to open it because it's stuck by its fucking semen, but jacking off our dicks. But no one's going to open it. It's your journal, you write down. So write down in your journal, be truthful to yourself. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, whatever it is that there is, just write down about you. It's really easy to do so because you know when you're lying. You know when you're not truthful to yourself, because you say something, right? Whether it's to yourself or to someone else, and there'll always be the other guy in the room in your head, in the other room, coughing, being like, that's not fucking true. So you know. And as much as there's something that you want to lie about, and you go and lie to everyone else about it, and you lie to yourself about it, it's like, it's fine, okay, everyone thinks that you're this kind of guy, but you know. That's not a good feeling to have. Okay, so step 1, as I said, write it down. Step 2, I think it's a bit more. They kind of intertwine with each other. Step 1 and step 2. By the way, bro, if you're new, my name is Vanch, and I'm here to give you lessons and teachings and habits to help you improve yourself from down here to up here. Because I feel like everyone has this set amount of potential, and it's just a matter of where they want to direct it and who's in control in the head towards where it's directed. I upload 2 videos a day with lessons teaching you on how to apply these things and topics that could genuinely help you in your life. So go down, click on the subscribe and the post notifications. It's a win-win for both of us. Step 2 is to speak it out, right? You want to speak out your problems, make them into reality, bring them into existence, instead of it being in your head, right? This is what all these steps do. It's essentially slowly bringing your problems into existence so you can actually look at it head on. By speaking it out, you're inviting the problem into existence, right? And you can talk sense into yourself. And when you look at the problem as it is, you may be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. There's solutions to this. It's exactly how you solve, like, say, exam stress or exam anxiety. It's like you have the stress for it, and it seems like such a big thing, and it's so daunting that it's coming up. But when you actually speak it out, like, look, I have these many exams in these many days, right? I have 8 exams in a month, okay? What do I have to do to solve it? I just have to revise. I can sit down tomorrow, do a past paper, see how I did it on it, get the mark scheme, mark it. I did this wrong, let me learn it, let me do another paper. It's like, it is simple things that you have to look at it. So 2, speak it out genuinely. Works a fucking miracle. And 3, I think this is genuinely the build up to how you physicalize your problems. Because 3 is genuinely just looking at your problems from another perspective, right? When, as I said earlier, it's like when someone comes up to you with their problems or their issues, such as, like, say for example relationship issues, they'll come up to you saying this and this and this, and you'll be like, well, that's just not acceptable, I would break up with them. And they would agree with you if it was you in that case and you were telling them the problem. But the fact that they're in the situation, they are blinded by attraction, lust, all these things, that they are unable to see the solution to the problem. It's the same with any other issue that you present to yourself, is that you are in the situation, therefore you're unable to see it properly. So what you should do is, right, step 3 is to think that you're not you, and you're not the person with the problem. Think that someone else is telling you that you have this problem. Not you have this problem, but they have this problem. And you will then think of solutions instantly to solve the thing. This is quite literally instantly applicable. You have any problems, genuinely any problems, you just visualize them as if you're not the one with the problems and someone else is telling you that they have these problems, and then you think of solutions quite quickly. And I think that they all intertwine with each other, because if you do all these 3 steps, your problems will look like fucking babies, and you can actually solve them easily. And I think it's just really important that the basis of all of it is to be truthful to yourself, and whether that be in solving problems or just you as you are, it gives you a level of comfortability, a level of knowing who you are, right? So you have to be true to yourself, or else you start creating facade of who you are. And what the problem with that is that if you're not you, then whoever's getting complimented isn't you, but also who isn't getting criticized isn't you, which is why people create the facade. But then, if you were presenting the real you and you got criticized, you would then set out to solve the issue. You would then set out to solve the criticism. But the fact that your facade, your fake self, has been criticized, you will not go out to solve it because it's not you. That's the problem that comes, because you can't improve yourself if you're not true to yourself. It's the basis of self-improvement as well. It's like, you have to be you if you want to improve you. Simple. You don't want to improve the fake version of you, you want to improve the real version of you. And you can kind of smell it on people, you can see, you can smell it. It's like I fucking hate this star sign shit, but it's like the best way to describe it's like an aura around people. You can kind of tell if they're the kind of person who's not true to themselves. So genuinely be true to yourself. And the problem with being true to yourself is that when you get criticized, when someone tells you something and you may take it as an insult, it's actually the fucking truth. And the reason it's the fucking truth is that you are hurt by it. So something that you thought that you could hide away from everyone else got brought to reality, got brought to life, and you were hurt by it because you thought you could hide it and you can't. So let me ask you this one question. If you're hiding things from yourself, from other people, are you being the true you? No. No, you're not. So learn to bring out whatever it is that you're hiding and present it to the world, because it means that you can improve it. And that's the whole point. Okay? Genuinely, be true to yourself, because all these exceptional people are true to themselves. That's why they're different. Alright? Go get it.